Hooray! Inspiring Changes 10, and we are celebrating it big.
This year I rise and shine.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Sumbo Adeoye, and I welcome you to day 4 of the Inspiring Change Conference. If you can hear me, please let me know that you can hear me. Let me know where you are joining from. If you're in Lagos, please put a comment in the comment section. And if you're watching a rebroadcast, you are welcome. Like the jingle says, the grand finale of the annual Inspiring Change Conference comes up tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow, less than 24 hours. And the theme remains Evolve. Guess who I have in the studio today? Ta-da-dan, ta-da-dan. Yes, I'm going to be having a live chat with the one and only Tara Fela Durotoye. Yes, she's in the studio already. And the topic we're going to be looking at today is Evolve, the winning strategies for building lasting businesses and career. I know that you have this goal-getting team of friends that need to connect. So please, I'm going to be giving you a few seconds to share the stream with them. Let them know that the Inspiring Change Conference Day 4 is now live on my YouTube channel. Don't go anywhere. The next space you're going to be seeing will be that of Tara. So please share the stream and invite someone.
Hooray! Inspiring Changes 10, and we are celebrating it big.
This year I rise and shine. I am taking my place in glory. I evolve. This year I rise.
Starting from the 21st of March to 25th of March 2023, the grand finale takes place on the 25th of March by 10 a.m. with seasoned speakers who have evolved greatly, like Mrs. Tara Durotoye, Dr. Helen Paul, Pastor Mrs. Funke Felix Adejumo, Mrs. Doyin Ogumefun, Bimbo Ademoye, and Pastor David Adeoye. Hosts Adesumbo Adeoye. Awards and gala night comes up thereafter. For seat reservation, please call 0816 212 1090. Thanksgiving service comes up on Sunday, the 26th of March 2023 at Royalty Christian Center, Lagos. For registration and other details, kindly visit www.inspiringchangeng.org. Admission is free. Be there.
Welcome back. Yes, admission is free. All you have to do is visit our website, www.inspiringchangeng.org, and follow all the details of registration that you see on that site. Yes, we're going right to invite our special keynote speaker, Mrs. Tara Durotoye. I'm going to be reading our profile real quick before I bring her on stage. And if I have to tell you about Tara, I mean, we're going to take the whole day. She's such a sweet soul. But beyond all that, I want to quickly read our profile. Mrs. Tara Durotoye is the founder and current CEO of House of Tara International. She started the trend of bridal makeup profession in Nigeria. In a series of firsts, she also launched the first bridal directory in Nigeria in 1999. Please just give her a thumbs up, I beg. Just give her a thumbs up in the comment section. Give her a thumbs up. Give her a thumbs up. Yes, she has empowered over 8,000 young ladies with the Tara Beauty Entrepreneur Initiative, that makes them economically independent while building their entrepreneurial skills for national transformation. Under our leadership, House of Tara Business Case Study was researched and written by Stanford University and currently being used by Ivy League institution. Oh my God. We are ready to evolve. Now, let me tell you more. She is an alumna of the Lagos Business School Chief Executive Program, INSEAD Abu Dhabi, the Stanford Seed Transformation Program, and the Harvard Kennedy School, having completed the Global Leadership and Public Policy in the 21st Century. She has received several national and international awards for her contribution to the industry and active role in entrepreneurship and empowerment. The most recent being the Most Outstanding Businesswoman of the Year 2018 by the African Economy Builders Award. She has also received the award for African Makeup Icon by Ghana Makeup Awards and the Inspirational Woman of the Year 2016 by the First Lady of Lagos State and Leadership Award for Entrepreneurship by Harvard Business School Association of Nigeria. If you are so excited to have Mrs. Tara Duratoye in the house, let me see your comments. You are so welcome. People say they are ready. Thumbs up for you. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. So today we're going to be talking about the topic, the winning strategies for building lasting businesses and career. But before we go in, I would like to say a big thank you. Thank you so, so much, because I know how valuable this time is for all of us. And I know what it means for you to leave every other thing to create this time to be able to empower and inspire all the women that are tuned in across the globe. So thank you so much for coming on the Inspiring Change platform. God bless you, Ma.
Thank you so, so much, Pastor Sumbo, for inviting me, especially at this time, the 10th anniversary of the Inspiring Change Conference. I am super proud of what you and your team have done. 10 years is no small feat. To keep it going consistently every year is no small feat. So a round of applause to you. I'd like the audience to also give a round of applause to Pastor Sumbo and her team for keeping it together, creating the outreaches, the tours, the conferences, all the different programs that you have for women to elevate them out of, before, and getting them to evolve to become much more that they can be. So well done, and thank you very much for doing your bits and extending your voice. I would also like to thank the General Overseer, Pastor David Adeoye as well. It takes the support of the spouse, somebody you can share the vision with, someone who, when you're feeling down, can encourage you, to give you, encouragement to keep going when things haven't gone as planned. You need a voice. You just know that if you pick up the phone and call him, he will say to you, baby, we've got this, and just having that support. So thank you. And one thing I know is that whatever you appreciate grows. So, dear Pastor David, we want the support to continue to grow. So we're saying thank you in advance for the next 10 years.
Yes,
so thank you very, very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. And I think winning strategies for building lasting businesses and career is a topic that is in the very heart of Pastor Sumbo when she called me to speak. I've known her for many, many years. First met her when our children were still, my third son was still very little, and her first son, who's now 17, and both of them at the same age. And we had gone to Rough and Tumble to purchase things, apparel for our children. And we met then. This is 9 years ago. And I'm so excited that we've maintained the relationship over those years, and our relationship has evolved. We don't see physically, but we've learned how to evolve and adapt new tools to keep the relationship going, which is on social media. And, sometimes people criticize social media, but the word social is really about social. And so I'm glad to be here at this pivotal time, 10 years, to be able to speak on this subject. So the reason why I've been invited to speak. I think it's one as an entrepreneur. But I think that as our businesses evolve, so do the owners of the business have to evolve as well. And I look back at 25 years of starting House of Tara, growing it, and keeping it relevant for 25 years is no small feat. But it's because we've had customers who have been committed to the vision, they believed in the vision. We've had employees who have stuck with us, started with us. Some of them have gone to do other things. Some of them have come back. Some of them are new. But every year, year in, year out, people are flaming the fire of the vision of House of Tara. And it is because of them that we've been able to do 25 years. And the 25 years is 25 years of building a national brand, a brand that is in all the major cities in Nigeria, from Kano to Kaduna, to Ibadan, to Benin, Asaba, to Enugu, to Uyo, in Lagos, to Lekki, to Festac Town and Surulere, and just serving people across the country. And today we have beauty reps, over 15,000 of them, right? Because of the commitment of our customers. Over 15,000 of them who've been empowered to become beauty entrepreneurs. Some of them working, starting their own businesses, growing their businesses, making us super proud. And many of them are also abroad in the US, in the UK. From time to time, I bump into them. It's also the number of over 2,000 makeup artists who have been trained to become professional makeup artists, who are serving customers, serving brides. This is 25 years of having that national brand and growing it into becoming a continental brand that, in Ghana today, you can buy Tara, you can have the product because we have distributors in all these other African countries. And so 25 years is no small feat, but 25 years has also come with its challenges. And I guess that is the reason why I'm here to speak. Because one person has bought one lipstick, bought one foundation, bought two lipsticks, bought two foundations and powders and blushes and setting spray and all the different products. And that's why we're still here after 25 years. But in thinking about 25 years, I think about the fact that the business has had to evolve at multiple stages. And there's so many seasons of evolution that we have experienced that came as a result of change. Some of the change was not something we planned. Some of the evolution that we experienced was not because we're looking forward to the evolution. Many of them we got into screaming and sad, right? But we had to embrace the change that we saw. In some cases, we were innovating and change met us there, and we just transitioned and pivoted. But the truth of the matter is that it's not every time that change has come that we have responded well. There are other times where change came and we froze. We froze because we didn't expect it. We're not ready. And in some cases, the shock was too much for us to move. And so I've come here to share with you based on my experience of 25 years, but I'm also listening in to learn new things that I can do going forward. And I'm hoping that we both enjoy this session as I share my story. So some of the evolution that we experienced worked. Some didn't work. But we didn't see any of those as failings. We saw them as lessons as to what not to do again. The evolution that we experienced that yielded increase, we embraced them. But there were some that didn't yield increase. But we didn't consider them as failings. We just considered them as learnings of what not to do again. Can I hear an amen in the audience? So thank you very, very much. So I want to start by sharing the story of the business and by extension, my own story of evolution as well. I'm going to divide it into three phases. One of them will be at the very nascent stage of when I first started. What was the change that I saw and how did I evolve? I'm going to move from there that's moving from a law student to becoming a makeup artist. The next phase I will talk about and share some stories will be around moving from a makeup artist to becoming an owner manager. And the third phase I will talk about will be from moving from an owner manager to becoming a business leader. And the fourth stage I will talk about is moving from a business leader and evolving into a thought leader. And I'm hoping that somebody's inspired to evolve as a result of the encouragement that they get from this session. And I'm hoping that somebody will evolve as a result of wanting to make a difference. I hope that somebody will evolve because evolution is real and change must come, and we must embrace it as much as we can. It is the Greek philosopher, Heraclitus of Ephesus, that said, what is one thing in life that is constant? It is change. What is one thing in life that is constant is change. The only thing is that sometimes we're reluctant to embrace change because we're afraid of the unknown. However, change, when it comes and you evolve, you embrace opportunities, new opportunities. And I can say this categorically because of the experience that I have had. If I didn't evolve, I would not have experienced the change that I experienced, the growth that I experienced, the opportunities that were open to me, the new business ideas and innovations that came as a result of the change. Today, I can look back and say, we have built a business that is sustainable. We've built a business that has systems and structures in place. We've built a business that responded to different needs as they came because we were ready to evolve many, many times. So what was the change that we saw? Some of them was industry trends. We just woke up one day and our customers didn't want certain things. They wanted something different. And in other cases, it was government policies. Government policies threw us into a moment of change that we didn't expect. We woke up one day and there was an announcement in the newspapers about things that the government had changed. There was also global economic meltdowns that we didn't have control over. People who started losing jobs, recessions that happened in the last 25 years. In other cases, there were internal conflicts within our business that we did not expect. There was a strike. Employees went on strike at a point in time, and we didn't expect that. But guess what? It was a change that we saw, and we needed to evolve to respond to the change. But many of that change that came also came with baskets full of gifts. And the basket full of gifts that it came with was opportunities. And I want us to see change as a moment of opportunities. I want us to embrace change as a door to opportunities. But the question is, how can we address and deal with change when it comes? And I would like to start by saying the first thing is that there has to be a mindset shift. For you to evolve when there is change, you have to, first of all, have a mindset shift. Listen, for those of you who are people of faith, you know that when God says we should meditate day and night, he didn't say meditate only in the daytime. He didn't say meditate only at nighttime. He said day and night, because he knows that whoever holds your thoughts and holds your mind holds your life. Whoever holds your thoughts, whoever holds your thinking, whoever holds your mind is the one that holds your life. And so we have to understand that until we embrace, when we want to evolve, we have to embrace a mindset shift. Sometimes it's in the change in our identity and seeing ourselves differently from what we were before. But when we embrace a mindset shift, because we understand that our minds are such an important part of who we can become, we may not be able to evolve, and we may not be able to embrace the goodies that change comes with. I heard a very wise man once say that concentration is the womb of accomplishments. Concentration is the womb of accomplishments. And so where does concentration sit? It sits in our mind. Whoever holds our mind and our thoughts holds our life, our concentration is the womb. Concentration is the womb of our accomplishment. What are we concentrating on? When change comes and we see bloom and gloom, that concentration impacts an accomplishment, and the accomplishment is not what we desire. It may become disaster. However, when we embrace and we concentrate on the opportunities that change brings, then we see growth. And growth and more growth. We reimagine, we can recreate, we can innovate. And so I would like to charge all of us today that the mindset shift will be the first thing that we have to embrace for us to evolve. Because one, what we take from the outside is not what makes us impure. It's what comes from the inside to the outside that makes us impure. That shows the power of the mind. As a man thinketh, so is he. And thinking sits in our mind. This is what shows that our mind is so powerful. Do you know that in Ecclesiastes, the Bible says that a dream comes based on a multitude of business. And so sometimes the dreams that we have comes as a result of the amount of thinking that we've done during the day and the things that we've thought about that create solid dreams. And in some cases, they torment us. When we are anxious, sometimes we can begin to dream and extend our thoughts even to when we sleep at night, when we're supposed to be resting. And this holds us hostage. This holds us hostage because of the kind of things that we think about. So here I would like to charge us, when change comes, I want you to meditate on what? What do I want you to meditate on? I want you to meditate on opportunities. I want you to think about opportunities. I want you to be fixated about opportunities, because when you are fixated about opportunities, you see it, and whatever you focus on becomes your reality. Whatever you focus on becomes your reality. Change means opportunities. Change means growth opportunities. Until we embrace it as such, we will not see the outcomes that we desire, and we will not see the sustainable strategies that we want to see in evolution. The second thing that we need to embrace, apart from a mindset shift, is that we also have to embrace a skill set shift. A skill set shift. We have to ask ourselves, what are the new approaches? This change that has come, there are new approaches, there are new ways of doing things. And the only way we can truly evolve is when we embrace a new way of doing things. We need to acquire new skills. I will share some stories about my own journey in the days where I embraced change confidently and I evolved. I will share, but I'll also share moments where evolution came, change came, and I did not embrace, I did not evolve. And because I did not evolve, I suffered the consequences of it. So it's about, first of all, it's about a mindset shift, but it's also about a skill set shift. It's about acquiring new skills that are needed for the change, for the new season, for the new opportunities that are coming. And lastly, there's also a need for a tool set shift. A tool set shift where you're asking yourself, what are the things that I need to perform differently in this new season? What are the tools that are required so that I can remain successful? So the mindset shift is about learning enough of what's happening outside, right? Looking at on the outside and saying, what is happening on the outside? But making sure that the knowledge that you have on the inside is what you're beginning to respond to, right? You are able to take better decisions when there's a mindset shift, but also acquiring new skills to say, what are the new skills that are required for this new season? Learning how to do new things, finding new approaches, new ways of doing things. As you evolve, you have to adapt a mindset and a skill set shift. A mindset and a skill set shift. Lastly, you have to embrace a mindset of a tool set shift, which is, what are the tools that I require? What do I use now that I didn't need before to get things done? How can I do things more efficiently? How can I do things in a more productive manner? Because evolution will only happen at the level of our own transformation as business owners, or as those sitting on the steering wheel, or as those pushing a particular career. The evolution that will take place is dependent on how much you, who's sitting in the driver's seat, is willing to evolve. Are you there, guys? If you are there, please let me know in the chat room to know that you are here and I'm still with you. Yes, just tell me what you've learned so far. Let me know what you've learned so far. Let me see it in the chat room.
We are
Fantastic.
learning. Oh my God. You've said so much. You said we need to meditate on opportunities. We need to embrace ways of doing things. You touched on the mindset shift, the skills shift, and the tool set shift. Oh my God.
I love it. Thank you. So I want to ask the question is, what does the word evolve mean, right? To me, evolve means the ability to develop and to adapt to change in a way that helps you survive, helps you succeed, and helps you to thrive and remain relevant. So evolve means to develop the ability to adapt to change or changes in a way that helps you to survive, to thrive, to succeed, and to remain relevant. So what Pastor Sumbo is basically saying is, I want you to remain relevant. I want you to survive. I want you to succeed. I want you to thrive. So I'm calling you to a place that is higher than where you are by asking you to evolve. So women, and men who are listening in, this is a call for you to evolve, to adapt a new ability, to say to yourself, I must survive, I must thrive, I must succeed, and I must remain relevant. And as you say that to yourself, this will be your experience. Can I hear an amen from you guys? Okay, so let me start by telling my own story of evolution, right? So it was in 2005. I visited a schoolmate, and we got talking about my journey. And as I started to listen in on what I was sharing, I saw the evolution that took place. And this is what I want to share with you guys. I said I was going to start by talking about an evolution, how I evolved from a law student to becoming a makeup artist, how I moved from becoming a makeup artist to becoming an owner manager, and how I moved from being an owner manager to become a business leader, and how from being a business leader, I've now become a thought leader. And the evolution that took place within those moments that impacted the growth that I have experienced, and I'm hoping that you have also seen. I went to Lagos. I got admission into the Lagos State University to study law. I had dreamt of becoming a lawyer for so long as a young girl. I couldn't wait to be a lawyer. I was so excited about my admission. I got into school and we started to do the cases and more cases and more cases. And guess what? I became bored. I became restless. The question for me was, why was I restless? I had come this far and I was so excited that I was going to become a lawyer after all. There was a senior advocate of Nigeria from my family. There was a well-known humanity lawyer, right, who was very passionate about human rights lawyer, who was very passionate about human rights. He was always on TV talking about human rights and fighting the then military government back and forth. And so I had a lot of lawyers. My home was the home where every member of our family who didn't live in Lagos lived when they were law students, because the law school at the time, there was only one law school in Nigeria, and it was in Victoria Island, and we lived in Ikoyi. So everybody who was my father's niece, cousin, whatever, came to live in our home when they were at law school. And I think all that shaped my desire to become a lawyer. When I saw them being called to bar and the photographers and all the pomp and pageantry that came with it, there was that excitement. But guess what? I got into university and I started to study law and I was bored. And the question for me was, what do I do with my time? What would excite me? I was lucky enough to have worked in a perfume store as a young, just before I got into university. I worked there for about a year waiting for my JAMB result to come out. And in working in that store, it was a perfume store, but it was also a cosmetic store. It was a beautiful store that had lipsticks, powders, different international brands that wasn't really well maximized. Customers came there for perfumes. But as I started to explore the products, my mom was very fashion forward. She loved beauty. So she adorned herself well. And I learned from seeing her experience and explore. And here it was, I was in this store and I got the chance to use products, use the lipstick, test them on customers and see how customers were excited about how they looked because of this whole procedure. And that's how the skill as a makeup artist sprung up. But I didn't know there was nothing like makeup artists at the time. So I couldn't call myself a makeup artist. But what I knew was that people were excited when I touched their faces. And they also bought and they spent money. So I love that as well. Right. And so the question for me was, now it was a skill that I had. When I got into university, I applied makeup beautifully well. And my friends saw that I had a skill. But every law student, if there's any law student here, you would know when you're on campus, you have something called the law dinner. And it was a social event for law students where you came in and dressed nicely in your black or white. It was a dinner, and it was one of that calendar activity or event that students looked forward to. So the friends who wanted to have their makeup done would come to my room and say, please, can you do my makeup for me for the law dinner? And I would. After a while, they decided to pay for it. And at that moment, I saw change in front of me. And the change was, we're willing to pay you to do this because you're so good at it. And this is what happens with opportunities. As long as you are functioning where you ought to function, doors of opportunities begin to open to you one after the other. As long as you function where you ought to function and you're consistently delivering on a service day after day, if your eyes are open, you'll begin to see opportunities, not one, not two. If you embrace those opportunities, there you are with a gold mine. And that's what happened to me. I became the first bridal makeup artist in Nigeria. Today, the industry is massive, right? It's gotten attention from all across the continent. People are coming to Nigeria to makeup school to learn about makeup artistry. People who were studying engineering and moving to become makeup artists today. Everyone has a makeup artist in their family today. This happened because as a young undergraduate in the university, I got an opportunity. And when the opportunity came, I evolved. I embraced it. I allowed my mind to shift and my identity to change in a sense from being a law student to becoming a makeup artist. By doing that, I began to, what I was saying was, I'm looking for more customers. And the more people I talked to about it, the more customers I got. And one day I got the opportunity of doing the makeup of the daughter of the Chief of Naval Staff. Now, during the military government, the Chief of Naval Staff is like the vice president, or in some cases, like the vice president, like the number two. And it was a huge wedding. It was one of the first weddings that was ever hosted at the TBS, Tafawa Balewa Square. And it was massive with thousands of people. It gave me my first launch pad, right? And I got the opportunity to meet other young women who had bridal trained, like 12 of them who were subsequently getting married after the event, which meant I already had a track of customers. So I began to call myself a makeup artist. I went out and created a complimentary card with a beautiful pink, and I called my business The Fair Lady, or maybe it was Tara Makeovers, I'm not even sure, right? And I started to give that card to everyone who I saw. Here was a mindset shift. There was a shift that was going on. I was seeing myself not just as a law student, but I was seeing myself as a makeup artist. So the question for you is, when the change comes to you, what identity change is taking place in your mind? Have you embraced it? And if you have not, it's time to embrace it. It's time to put a picture to it, make it visual so that people can see it. And as you make it visual, talk about it. Let your voice be the one that speaks of it. And as you speak of it, you're attracting customers to yourself. And that's where I had the mindset shift. But as I started to serve the customers, it became clear that the skill that I had from my days in perfumery was no longer sufficient to become the makeup artist of some of the celebrity brides who were getting married at the time. And what did I do? We're now talking about a skill set shift. I went to England, went to Charles Fox makeup school to learn more about makeup artistry. And I learned and I explored and I saw products and things I didn't know existed before. This gave me the chance to explore it. But as I was exploring this development in my skill set, I also saw new tools that I didn't know that existed before. And the challenges that I've experienced in the past, I saw the tools that solved them. And I was able to buy makeup boxes, makeup brushes, brush cleaners. These are things that I didn't even know existed before. This is what the exposure to the skill set shift, I also got to embrace a tool set shift. This is my first story about how I transitioned from being a makeup artist, from being a law student to becoming a makeup artist. But guess what? Another change came to me. And the change that came to me also came with a basket of opportunities. The question was for me, was I going to embrace the basket of opportunities, or was I going to run back and say, oh my goodness, I'm not ready for this? No, in my true Niger Delta self, I said, bring it on. I said, bring it on. Let's go there, right? I was young. There was nothing to be afraid of. Sometimes when you are older, you start to count the costs more and you are afraid, right? But in this case, I was young. I was excited. I was ready to embrace. And that's the thing about youthfulness. And I think it's also in the scriptures, right? In the days of your youth, that there's things that you're not afraid to do. Do them because you may not get that same flavor. Today I'm 46. And now I think too much about things, okay? What was the opportunity that came to me? What was the change that came to me? As a makeup artist, I now started getting people requesting, I was now speaking about it. I had my complimentary cards everywhere I went. I shared it. People now started to desire my service. And in some cases, I would have two brides on the same day. The question for me was, how many of these could I turn down? Well, was this an opportunity to scale up the business? And would I embrace this opportunity to scale up the business? And guess what I did? I embraced the opportunity to scale the business. If I didn't, we will not be here 25 years after. We will not have the industry that we had. And there were two opportunities that came. One of them was to set up a makeup school. And the makeup school will then begin to give us the opportunity to train people who can then work with us as makeup artists. So here was I, it was a one-man business. I was a makeup artist. I was everything, right? I was serving the customers, but the customers were increasing. And this was a moment of a call for change. And the change that was called. Are you guys there? Sorry, the power has gone off where I am. You can hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, wonderful. And so I've now transitioned. What was happening was, and listen, there's some of us who are out there. Our customers are pushing a new opportunity to us that we're not willing to embrace, right? And this is what happened. The customers were saying to me, Tara, you're fabulous, but we need you. We need 3 of you. We need 4 of you. And so I set up a school. And many people ask me, how stupid can it be? Why are you developing competition for yourself? Why are you developing competition for yourself? And to be honest with you, I didn't listen. I didn't listen also, yet again, because I was young. But I look back now and I'm grateful that I didn't listen, because it gave me the opportunity to develop people for Nigeria, to develop people for the country as a whole, to develop people so that opportunities will come to them as well, because they now have a skill that prior they didn't have. And so I set up the first makeup school. I set up a facility, training seats, and the question for me was, what skill set? What did I need to change in my mindset? I had to transition from being the makeup artist that everybody knew to becoming an owner manager, someone who owned a business and was managing people, right? That transition that took place was a transition that was saying to me, we want you to be more. We're calling you higher. We are calling you higher to be more. And that's what change does. Change is calling you to be more, calling you higher, and calling you to be more. More so that you can empower people, more so that you can give people new opportunities, more so that you can also grow personally and grow not just as a person. You can grow a business, you can grow a company, you can grow your career. That's what change does. So can we give change a round of applause, please, and say, change, come to me. I want to embrace you, change. I'm no longer afraid of you. Change, come. I embrace you, because when change comes, opportunities come with it in basket sizes. And so as I started to send out makeup artists to go out to serve customers, I needed a new set of skills. Now I know I'm an owner manager, but I needed a new set of skills. And the skills that I required was not the skill to do eyebrows, to apply foundation properly, to apply blusher or bronzer properly, or to use a lip liner. What I needed now was changing. It was about managing people and how do you get your resources to work efficiently. It was about raising finance, right? It was about having a location and having to interact with landlords for the first time. As a makeup artist, you take your box and you just go and you serve your customers, they pay your money, you go. But now have people, you have to design a remuneration structure that I never thought about before. I had to design a place where they could meet up, right? So you are training people, so you have to have a facility. So I had to rent a location in Victoria Island, which meant that I had to pay rent. In paying rent, I also had to pay utilities, buy a generator. The skills that were required from being a makeup artist was changing, because change was saying, we're calling you higher to be more, to become a business owner, to become an owner manager. And the question for me was, I understand that there was a gap. And what skill set did I require? I went off to business school. I went to Lagos Business School to sign up for the owner manager program. And when I signed up for the owner manager program, it gave me the opportunity to learn about operations management, learn about supply chain management, learn about human resource management. These are things that I couldn't have been taught just doing makeup. There are things I needed to get back into the classroom to learn about. And I was being called to do more. I was being called to be more. And I was embracing it wholeheartedly. I was young. There was nothing to be afraid of. So I signed up to LBS. I paid 800,000 naira. This was in 2007. Can you imagine that? 800,000 naira was what I paid. I paid in installments, right? Because I couldn't afford to pay in full. But I came out understanding how to do understand a P&L, a profit and loss. So I knew that every money that was coming in was not sales. That some of it was sales that was being generated, but some of it was part of our profit that was being generated. And some of it was part of the expenses that was being generated. And so I understood that more. And then there were tools that I now needed. I never knew I needed before. I could no longer write my sales in an Apex notebook like I did before. I now needed to get a Peachtree, an accounting software to track our revenues, right? And as I said, the makeup artist there, we had to generate, we could no longer write invoices with book and paper and biro. We now had to start generating these invoices, create a website, right, that talks about what we did. And it was no longer about me, I. It was now about us as a team. But yet again, so I was learning about dollar prices because as my makeup artists were going out and we started to produce our own makeup line, our customers were saying, you have 3 foundations and three lipsticks and 3 shadows. We want more. We want more. And the customers were calling for more. I responded to the more that they were calling me to. But as I responded, I also had to respond by growing in my capacity. And so I was now moving from an owner manager that had this bunch of makeup artists I was managing to actually growing an entire company, right, that had a product line that it was marketing and distributing and manufacturing and designing, to also a team of people who were makeup artists serving customers across the country, and also setting up a school that gave us the ability to train people who can become part of our funnel, right? And part of our system that will continue to deliver the service that we needed. But guess what? There were people who were coming from outside who also wanted to be trained in the school. And this opportunity had now come to start a makeup school that was full-fledged. And we had customers from different parts of Nigeria who were coming. You had a product line. And all these requests, now having customers from different parts of Nigeria, meant that our customers were saying, we want you to come to Kano. We want you to come to Kaduna. We want you to come to Abeokuta. We want you to come. And now we're talking about building a national brand with a national brand network. Listen, I could no longer just be that owner manager that had one shop in VI. I was now an owner manager who was expanding. And as I was expanding, the number of employees were expanding. The number of lives that were part of my network was expanding. The distribution channel was expanding with our products, right? And we're expanding our product design. And I was a creative director coming up with different products that customers loved. And as they loved the products, they wanted more and more. And they were so proud because it was a Nigerian brand. This was the first time a Nigerian was creating a product line. And the excitement and the buzz and the response was phenomenal. I had to respond by growing. And here, the skill set that were required were different. I needed to start raising financing. I needed to understand about suppliers' credit. How do I get my suppliers to fund my business, right? How do I sell my business to my bankers so that they can fund the business? These were skills that I didn't need as an owner manager because I just sent out makeup artists to do jobs that came to me. Here it was, I now have a product line. I have a distribution network across the country. People were selling our products in different parts of the country. But here it is, right? I had to do more. And I said to myself, this new season, this new place that I'm in, I need new skills that are required to do this work, right? And so the first mindset shift was, listen, you better go big or go home. And so I decided I wanted to go big. And I decided to take the plunge, to open branches, to set up a franchise system where we had our first franchise in Ibadan, and in 2008, right? And from there we began to expand. We opened in Port Harcourt, we opened in Uyo, we opened in Kano, we opened in Kaduna, we opened in Ilorin, we opened in Asaba, Warri, Benin, we opened in Port Harcourt, we opened in Enugu. And as we began to grow, people from outside of Nigeria wanted to see and experience this brand as well. Listen, I was now having to transition from an owner manager to becoming a business leader, where it was about shared philosophy, shared ownership, where I was looking for managers who I could develop, who could own the business as well as I did, who were part of it. And here I had to learn about vision casting. This I didn't need before. I just needed to assign a makeup artist somewhere. I needed to learn about vision casting. I needed to learn emotional intelligence. I needed to learn about how to interact with staff from across different social classes, but also across different personality types. And here it was, I now needed to learn how to build a structure, right, that made the company sustainable. I needed to design processes for the different parts of the businesses that I was running. And these were skill sets I needed. I went back to school again. And I went to LBS again, this time to do this.
Oh my God, I am right here. Just my head is blowing up. There is so much to do at every stage. Oh my God. Are you sure you're ready to evolve, people? Because it comes with a lot of responsibilities.
Yeah,
it comes with you doing. Oh my God. I mean, each step, I was just taking notes, from law student to becoming the makeup artist, to becoming a business owner, an owner manager, and then a business leader. And you had to go to school, you had to learn the skill.
Skill set.
Oh my God. This is so much. This is a master class. Oh my God.
Being a business leader required different things. I needed to understand organizational structure, right? I needed to understand intra-communication within the company. I needed to understand that being an owner manager, where it was about me, my business. No, you can't do that anymore as a business leader. It's about us. It's about shared ownership. It's about finding ways that your people.
Yeah, when you were talking about learning how to interact with people, learning how to design processes that will work when you're not there, I'm like, yes, I can relate. It's evolving. It comes with a whole lot of risk. And thank you for bringing this to, this is something that we know. We can see the growth. It's touchable. I remember using Orekelewa blush. That's what I used when I was in Unilag. It was so good on my skin. I felt, no, this is not Mary Kay. This is Niger brand. It was the brand I loved to use. And I was so proud
and that product line has evolved. There are over 300 different items on the product. We no longer call it Orekelewa, we call it Tara. But we have all the local names as the color. Yes, that's the evolution right there. Because we have to evolve. Yes, we have to evolve.
Wow. Please go ahead. Let me just leave the room. I'm so excited. I don't even want to box you with time. So you have the whole time.
So it was really about learning about recruitment, how delegating, strategizing, casting vision, creating the house of Tara person. Like, who do you think is the right person that fits the culture that we're trying to create? And designing the culture, and then building that culture, and then pushing that culture, and pushing the vision, the mission, our core values as a business. This is what evolution is about. And that's how I evolved, right? And I embraced it wholeheartedly. It was tough, but I was excited because here, more people were being impacted by my work. More lives were being changed, right? And today, many of those people have become leaders within the organization. They've grown. I mean, there's one person who's been in the company for 12 years out of the 25 years, right? And they have also experienced an evolution for themselves to become leaders the same way. So I then moved from being a business leader to not just a business leader now, to becoming a thought leader. Because what happened was I started getting invited to speak at different places, to share my story so that other entrepreneurs can learn, like what I'm doing today. And I've become a thought leader. But one of the things that was required was public speaking skills. I had to design what I call my Tara style, right? I had to design it, and I had the different words, the different adjectives that described what I bring to every stage that I come to, and be deliberate. And I got the chance to speak at some of the Ivy League universities across the world. And in one case, I got invited to speak at the Stanford University. And a year after, they sent a team of people to come and write a case study about House of Tara. Today, that case study is being used at Harvard. 2 days ago, my son reached out to me to say his friend who works at Goldman Sachs wants the House of Tara case study because she's writing something on the cosmetics industry in Africa. Can you imagine how proud my son must have felt at that time? If I didn't take the plunge to respond to the change by evolving, we will not have the national and the continental brand that we have today. I'm hoping that all of us who are listening on this call will make up our minds today to change some things, to embrace the change. And change is constant. If you are able to evolve, change offers you growth opportunities, like I've said before, for those who are ready to evolve, those who are ready to develop a new mindset, those who are ready to have a new skill set, those who are ready to acquire new tools are the ones that we evolve. But I want us to start something. And the first thing I want us to start is this. Ask yourself, what changes are happening outside right now? What changes are happening right now? 2, what must I do to embrace this change, to evolve? What must I do to embrace, to evolve? And how, number 3, how do I embrace the changes in a way that I remain relevant? How do I embrace the changes in a way that I remain relevant? What must I learn, number 5, and know how to do the best way that I can? What must I learn and to know how to do the best way that I can? And lastly, what tools do I need? What tools do I need? In closing, I would like to say, I hope you start today. I hope you start today. Thank you, and God bless.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Oh my, thank you so much. You have blown our minds, and such an amazing and inspiring story of House of Tara. I mean, you have evolved greatly. A lot of lives have been transformed, and the people that you have brought along the line. You know, one thing that people usually say is when something is working well for one person, the person doesn't want it to work well for others. They don't want to give out that recipe. They don't want to give out that link or that network or that connect. But in your case, you started something, you pioneered it, and then you started training other people how to be able to do the same trade that you pioneered. I think that is such an amazing, amazing thing to do. And thank you so much for not holding back on sharing your knowledge. A lot of people are saying, wow, 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 we're blown away. This is such an impactful session. Thank you so, so much. I know that people have questions that they want to ask. So before we let you go in the next 2 to 3 minutes, I would want everyone listening in to kindly type in their questions, and we'll take those questions before we round up. But before we go into the questions, let's just take this short commercial break so that our speaker can catch our breath and take a little bit of drink, water. Thanks.
From the 21st of March to 25th of March 2023. The grand finale takes place on the 25th of March by 10 a.m. with seasoned speakers who have evolved greatly, like Mrs. Tara Durotoye, Dr. Helen Paul, Pastor Mrs. Funke Felix Adejumo, Mrs. Doyin Ogumefun, Bimbo Ademoye, and Pastor David Adeoye. Hosts Adesumbo Adeoye. Awards and gala night comes up thereafter. For seat reservation, please call 0816 212 1090. Thanksgiving service comes up on Sunday, the 26th of March 2023 at Royalty Christian Center, Lagos. For registration and other details, kindly visit www.inspiringchangeng.org. Admission is free. Be there.
Yes. So the Inspiring Change Conference grand finale is tomorrow. And I want to specially invite you and all your goal-getting friends to be there by 10 a.m. at the Wisdom Arena in Agege, Lagos. A lot has been said today. Tara Dorotoye is our keynote speaker, and she has done justice to the topic, Evolve. She touched on the story of House of Tara and how she has evolved from being a law student to being a makeup artist to being a business owner manager, business leader, and now a thought leader that is speaking in globally across the world. And of course, our business is now used as a case study in Harvard and of course at Goldman Sachs. That is the biggest investment banking in America. That is big deal. I know you have questions. Yes, your business might be small, but you need to prepare. You need to prepare to evolve. This is an opportunity for you to ask questions. She has asked us questions. She said, what are the changes happening around you right now? What must you do to embrace this change so you can evolve? She also said we need to ask ourselves how to embrace it and remain relevant. And what must you learn? And what tools do you need in order for you to be able to remain relevant in that evolution? Yes, I see questions right here. Let me bring back our speaker. There's a question here for you, Ma. Thank you so much for that brilliant session. Someone said he joined late. You can always watch a rebroadcast after we have closed this session. So there's a question here. When you were ready to take your business to the next level, what were the winning strategies for you in the area of funding? Yeah, I think that's a very.
I think I mentioned that already. I want to swap to another device. Is that okay? Can I swap to another device?
Yes, please go ahead. Yes. So while we're compiling all the questions, I see all your comments. Such an amazing session. I have learned a lot. I mean, there's so many things that can resonate with me. I see where I'm headed, just by listening to our story. I see what I'm doing right. I see what I need to improve on. And I want you to please type the feedback in the comment section. Oh, thank you so much, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for this session. Exactly, that's exactly how I feel. We feel we want to say more than a thank you. This is amazing. Omolara is giving Mrs. Tara a clap offering. That's a good one. Value added parenting says grow big or go home. Come on now, that's it. You either grow big or you go home. Amazing session. Oh, Juliet says, I am thrilled. You can say that again. You can say that again. We are so thrilled by this story. And I mean, we all can see, we see it. Okay, there's another question here. Is there a recording? Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, definitely. We'll let you know how you can watch it after the session. Such an amazing time. I'm bringing our guest speaker back to the stream. Oh, yes. Now we have you back.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so the first question was, I think I mentioned it, but maybe I was speaking very fast so that we don't stay too long. I was trying to keep everybody's attention wrapped. So I said two things. Number one, I started to look at supplier credit. Supplier credit. So supplier credit is a form of funding where you basically use your supplier's money to do your business, where somebody who's manufacturing for you will supply your product to you after they've produced without you paying in full or without even paying at all. and then when you sell, you pay them in return. And I think that is usually only possible because, number one, you have a good relationship with the supplier. You've proven yourself to be one who's trustworthy, especially because we have a reputation as Nigerians, false as it is, that we are dishonest. And so therefore it's important that when you're interacting with people who are exposed to this sort of information, that you show them a side of Nigeria that they've never experienced before. You give them an experience that says that this is a Nigeria that you don't know. That is a rumor that you've heard. And so in doing that, it made it possible. I mean, if you were in my office, I'm in my office right now, I could have showed you a picture of one of my suppliers who I've known for more than 15 years. He has now become a big-time manufacturer with factories all across Southern Asia. And we have a beautiful relationship. We speak almost every month, even though, of course, the business has grown beyond both of us, right? Because whatever we owe him, the finance department will deal with it. But we have a relationship, and we've grown over the years. We are almost the same age. We met in Nigeria, and then that relationship has blossomed. So there's a picture of him right here in my office, of both of us. I was pregnant with my number 2, right? And that's how the relationship. And so it's important. The first supplier credit that I experienced was Alhaja Tejo Show in Tejo Show Market at the time. Alhaja Tejo Show gave me product on credit on the day I opened my first makeup studio. And the product was maybe 25,000 naira or so. She came on the day of the event. Yes, she came on the day of the event. And then as I sold, I paid to her. Please, 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 that integrity of I would pay at a certain time. And when you can't pay, make sure to communicate. Yes. Don't switch off your phone, because that is a bridge that you can break very, very easily. And so supply credit is one. The second one is it's banking finance. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, interest rates are so high that it becomes very, very difficult and expensive to borrow money in Nigeria. However, if you're going to borrow money in Nigeria, there's certain things that you have to do, especially if you're woman-led business. Number one, keep your books properly. Know how much you're generating. Be conversant with your numbers, right? How much are you spending? How much are you, and what are you really spending most of your money on? Are you tracking it? Are you keeping your books properly to the extent that you know what and where, right? And so when bankers ask you the questions, by listening to you, they would know whether you're someone who's conscientious enough to be able to repay back the loan. And many times they don't give you, not because they can't and they don't have the funding, it's just simply because they don't trust you enough. And so a bank isn't giving money to your business, the bank is giving money to you. And are you trustworthy? And this is why, in many cases, how they determine this. So those are some. And then, of course, there's family and friends, right? So, you know, in some cases, I mean, I've had in the past where my husband has funded part of our business because he had the resources to give, right? And there's some other cases that is a father, somebody's father who gives. So family and friends, also another way to fund. So family and friends, supplier credit, bank funding are some of the ways that you can explore fresh ways of funding.
Excellent. I mean, that's a very good one. There's another question here, and that's the last question we're taking before you leave. Omobolanle says, I recently started a food business in America, and I'm sure God is leading me into it. I've never had a bad review. I know I am good at it, but I'm confused on how to involve in it. Any tips, ma?
Okay, so I don't know the details of your sort of food business, but one of the things I think you can do is to ask your customers, what else do they want? And there lies your reality. In some other cases, spend more time listening to your customers, having conversations with them, and ideas will pop to you through the things that they say as to what they need. Recently, House of Tara started this events, right, what we do in our stores. And what we found out was, obviously, because the business is 25 years old, we are known by a certain age group because they've known the brand for a very long time. So women who are 50 and above, right, trust Tara because they were here when I started my business and they were in their 20s, right? And some of them in their 30s. And so there's a sense in which they're not interested in trends. They're not interested in what's raining, what's not raining. They just want to work with a brand that they can trust, right? Yes. So trust is important to them, and that's reliability. And so they're not interested also, they're also more patriotic. They're interested in supporting Nigerian brands. So they don't want to buy international color brands anymore because they don't have anything to prove to anybody. But guess what? They're also quite rich, right? Because they're settled, their children have left home, they're no longer paying school fees and what have you. So they have more disposable income. Now, in speaking to customers, one of the days, a customer said, "Oh, you guys don't do any events, but we actually do events, but we just don't invite that age group because we think that it will be difficult to mix them with the younger generation. Because when the younger generation come in their different outfits, these older people are just like, oh, they feel out of place." So guess what we did? We started to have events that are exclusively for women 50 and above. They absolutely love it. Right? So we're doing an International Women's Day event just for them that's being supported by different brands. Next month, we're doing something around friendship with them, within the, for them, right? So they're exploring the products, they're exploring our new foundation. We just have a foundation that we just launched that has, the reviews have been off the hook. It's like one of the best products that we've ever done, right? And they're now exploring. It's lightweight, it's easy to use. You just need a little tab, and it's a beautiful golden bottle, right? And so we're launching that product and doing an event for this women. And we've said in the card, exclusively for women 50 and above. So they know that they're only going to see their peers at the event. And so they feel comfortable, right? And this came not because I had some fancy idea, it was because it was from interacting with the customers that we realized that this was it. So my darling, please do so. And I'm sure that there will be so much in the multitude of counsel, there lies wisdom.
Thank you so much. In the multitude of counsel, there is definitely safety. We want to say a big thank you to you, Ma, for this eye-opening session. Thank you for diving in and for sharing your own story, because we can definitely resonate with all of this. And I know the seed has been sown today that will germinate, and you will be so proud of all the amazing stories, all the amazing transformation, and I'm sure that everything will be to the glory of God. Thank you so much for being here and for making our time. You gave us more than we wanted. Thank you.
The glory to God be all of the glory. Thank you very much for
having you.
I'm more than happy to be here. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Weekend. Bye-bye.
All right, God bless.
You're welcome. So people, oh my God, so much wisdom. Wow, I'm blown away. But before I go, I want you to please share the stream. Once we're done, you can share the stream with all your friends and family members and everyone you know, and let them know that there is wisdom, and it's not just the wisdom that you listen to, but the right application of
21st of March to 25th of March 2023. The grand finale takes place on the 25th of March by 10 a.m. with seasoned speakers who have evolved greatly, like Mrs. Tara Durotoye, Dr. Helen Paul, Pastor Mrs. Funke Felix Adejumo, Mrs. Doyin Ogumefun, Bimbo Ademoye, and Pastor David Adeoye. Hosts Adesumbo Adeoye. Awards and gala night comes up thereafter. For seat reservation, please call 0816 212 1090. Thanksgiving service comes up on Sunday, the 26th of March 2023 at Royalty Christian Center, Lagos. For registration and other details, kindly visit www.inspiringchangeng.org. Admission is free. Be there.
Okay, so I'm glad that you have been blessed and wowed and inspired, and I'm sure that you're set to evolve. If today's session is like this, you can imagine how the grand finale is going to be. So I want you to ensure that you get to the Wisdom Arena on time. And if you're going to be streaming globally, ensure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you do not miss any of the sessions tomorrow. Oh my God, I am blown away and I'm set for tomorrow. Are you set for tomorrow? God has given me a word for you in due season. Other guest speaker, Reverend Funke Felix Adejumo, will be available. She will be live with us at the Wisdom Arena. Helen Paul will be live with us at the Wisdom Arena, and all other leading female entrepreneurs that will be speaking. Oh my God, you don't want to miss it. Thank you all so much for staying tuned to us throughout the virtual conference. I look forward to receiving you tomorrow at the Wisdom Arena. And if God lays it in your heart to support the Inspiring Change Initiative or the Inspiring Change Conference, you can make your donations to FCMB ESOP Euro account 512353 1018. Do have yourself a fantastic weekend and see you tomorrow. It is time to evolve. Thank you all so much for your beautiful, beautiful comments. I appreciate you and all the wisdom that has been shared. Please spread the word and let someone out there know that Inspiring Change Conference is live tomorrow by 10 a.m. at the Wisdom Arena. It's such a pleasure to be able to inspire change. Goodbye.